Eric Uh, it's about that time. Mic check, mic check. Yes, yes. Good morning. Yes. How y'all doing out there? It's Emos the Witness, and we're back. Happy Wednesday, y'all. It's March 3rd, 2021. Digging into the new year. It's the Phil Show. Y'all know what time it is and what the fuck I look like. We downtown, y'all. Again, you catch me every Monday, Wednesday, Friday downtown at 120 East Market Street. Wave One Media. Come down here and get you a show. You can also like me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Catch me on YouTube. I'm everywhere, y'all. Growing. Got my shows on Spotify. Downtown here on Market Street. I'm watching a cop about to give out a ticket. Doing our thing down here, y'all. Like I said, I'm down here. It's episode 30 of the Emos to Witness the Phil Show. Welcome back as we dig into live politics news and everything under the sun. But mainly politics. You know, I started this show for a reason, to get back and hold accountability to those in power. Speak for the voice of the people, those who don't have a voice, those whose voices are drowned out by maybe one side that's just overwhelming with their rhetoric. I'm talking about you liberals out there, you Democrats out there. Shout out to the Biden administration. Shout out to Trump, I see you, baby. But yeah, we gonna get into it, y'all. Like I said, I'm downtown Wave One Media. Let me get you a little correspondence here. We got a lady right here. She's about to get a ticket, you guys. She just rolled up on the cop. I don't know if they can hear me. I think I should hear me. Let's see if I can add to the conversation. Look, ma'am, told your punk ass you can't be parking over here. You know, look, every ticket here is $50. I ain't got nothing. But she got like a little Chevy. She just rolled up. I think he's being nice to her. It's a great, for a Wednesday, that's nice. Usually on Wednesdays, everybody's mean on Wednesdays. That's a middle of the week type thing. You don't get that kind of treatment. You know, maybe society's changing. She was about to get a ticket. She rolled up. She put that mask down. No, she put that motherfucking mask down. I thought he may have got scared. She still got the mask down. And he said, fuck it, I'm getting back in the car. I won't give you a ticket, lady. Have a happy Wednesday. See, I would just walk away. I wouldn't keep on talking to the cop. I wouldn't, that may switch it up. Sometimes shit just, with that Wednesday crack on your ass. Okay, she got away with it. See, they pump faking here on Market Street. You can actually park wherever the fuck you want to on Market Street. You won't get a ticket. I bet you power. You may get a ticket, but don't mean shit. I like that about America. See, we like, sometimes we put these rules in place and we enforce them, but we got a little leeway. If you're nice, let's just be nice. Let me get the fuck off this topic. Hey, let's get down to music. Let's get into the news. Like I said, we start this show to kind of like to push back on accountability. Push back against these powers that be that want to speak their mind and not really be for the people. A lot of things really pushed me to start this show, Emos to Witness the Phil Show. Hit that like button. Like me on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Like I said, I started this show, man, to bring another voice, against a lot of the nonsense, a lot of bullshit. Like, what the fuck I look like, right? 2020 election really got to me, but it started before that. But anyway, I don't want to talk too long on all that. I want to get into the news of the day. I want to dig into some of the things that I've seen, what I've witnessed. Like I said, as Emos to Witness, I am your guide, I'm your ref. And together we are all witnesses to what's going on in this world. So we're going to dig into these articles. We're going to find out the truth together. I'm not here to steer you one way or the other. I'm here to bring out the facts and point out the bullshit, point out the hypocrisy. And then together we make a better decision together. We follow these individuals and these groups and these partisan groups and these packs together, and we just see where it leads. We look into the background. We dig deeper as we grow. And so when we go back to the voting booth and all those things, and we voice our opinions on various issues, we'll be well informed, and we'll pick better leaders. And in this episode, we're going to dig into some of the leaders that are currently in the hot seat, mainly liberal leaders, right? Cuomo, Governor Whitmer, California Governor Gavin Newsom. And we're going to dig into the Biden administration, some of the things and some of the policies they're changing currently. Dr. Seuss under attack, right? Got some COVID updates. Look like China's winning. Not only the trade war, the 2020 or 2016 trade war champs. Maybe the battle's still raging. Maybe the battle's still going. Maybe it's endless, right? But right now, battle 1, battle 2, episode 3, episode 4, these battles, Gettysburg. I mean, I'm telling you, this trade, we're in the middle of a war, you guys, with China. It hasn't stopped. There's still trade policies. There's still leadership. They're still changing leadership, changing the policies, and it all affects us long term economically. It didn't just stop because Trump became because Biden became president. There's still policies of trade that we still have to. There's still flares. There's still a battle raging, and right now in the COVID battle, vaccination battle, the diplomacy battle, looks like China might be winning, and we'll talk about that as well here at the Emotional Witness Show. But yeah, it's crazy out here, man. It's a crazy, crazy world. But this show we're gonna, like I said, we may talk about politics, but we also gonna talk about sports. We're bringing other elements into this show as we grow. Like I said, we're gonna have in-depth interviews. My website's coming out, emostowitness.com. We're currently working on that. We look forward to you guys taking out the various periodicals and articles and editorials and opinion pieces that I want to interject as well. But I don't know, Malik, man. I'm a little nervous about these maybe these in studio interviews. What's Wave One Media's protocol and their procedures for like if there's a conflict in the studio? You know what I'm saying? Because shit, this is a small room. I got this mask on too.
I don't think we've ever had like a severe conflict, so I think
severe. So you
I
had,
don't.
so,
I
you
can't
had
even think
mild.
of
You had a mild conflict. Well, I mean, do you have a policy in place? Do you guys ever talk about? Do you and White ever get together as the number one hot media group in the city to say, hey man, what are we gonna do if people get into a fight at this, get into a heated discussion? Because I ain't got time for that shit. I don't want a motherfucker just people, they talk and they interject and they talk over each other. No, you go, motherfucker. The fuck, you go, motherfucker. Shit, hey, fuck it. You know what? Fuck it. I'm not saying shit until this motherfucker go. And then we all quiet for like 10, 15 seconds, all awkward and shit. And these motherfuckers ain't talking. So no, you make your point. I ain't saying another motherfucking thing until he go. And then I'm sitting there like I'm the ref. I know I'm a ref in the show. But do I say, hey, you brothers, back it down. You go next, you go. Look, I'm not into the moderation, so I hope we can bring some security in here. Or maybe you and White can step in. Because like I said, I got the mask. I must let you have people in the studio wear masks. No. But when I let them see me, I got a lot of questions I want to talk about, openly. I'm thinking out loud, but I'm thinking, definitely that we need to kind of have some policies as we grow to kind of block. Lisbon looking at me across the street like, damn, somebody just get cussed out? Was that the sidewalk cussing? The motherfucker just stopped and looked over here like, what was that? Was that a fight, invisible fight? Yeah, it was, man. It was two ghosts. He's walking slow. But yeah, Emo's the Witness. Hit that like, subscribe button. Like me on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. We're growing as we grow. We'll have more impact to the show. We'll have a sports section maybe every Friday. We'll probably talk about a little bit of sports betting. Actually, help you with those DraftKings bets. But yeah, just kind of flesh the show out. But man, like I said, we're talking about politics. We're talking about all the hot issues of the day, and we're just talking, like I said, bringing live interviews to make sure we can hopefully have a casual conversation where people don't talk over each other and it's very in depth. But like I said, Dr. Seuss is on the tech, you guys. This first article that I want to kind of go over is that Biden erases Dr. Seuss from the Read Across America proclamation as progressives seek to cancel beloved author. And I actually got a separate twist on this. I actually welcome this. If we can give the progressives like a little bone, like a little tidbit, like a little, oh yeah, we'll give you this Dr. Seuss one, this gem, this little feather in your cap. Then maybe you won't be so hard on going off these bigger, more destructive causes you guys have in place, like climate control and like I'm really hoping the Biden administration is a little more moderate than like they said they're going to be after they won the election. They kind of pointed towards a more moderate angle. They kind of shut down Bernie Sanders and his Medicare for all. They kind of blocked Ocasio-Cortez from some various committees. So I mean, some of the cabinet members too have been, like I said, even though they've been stalwarts, long-term stalwarts, they haven't really been members or individuals who have been stoking a progressive agenda. And like I said, me personally, I want that. I want gridlock in Washington for the next 4 years. I want gridlock and investigations for the next 4 years. I do. I want accountability. I want to see I want to see some campaigns in 2022 that reflect the Trumpism, the Trump agenda. I want to see some changes in the midterm elections where the Republicans take over the House, and then I want to see investigations of impeachment for Biden over the issues over Ukraine and China. Then, of course, I want to continue to see a thorough review and a thorough progression of the Durham report and the Durham investigation, which is a special counsel investigation, which is looking to the Russian probe and the issues of 2016 election itself and the spying that is not really being covered in the way it should be. And as those processes grow, we'll bring more information and insight here on the Emotional Witness Show. But like I said, if progressives want to do anything, they want to do it. I went off on a tangent there. But if any progressive want to do anything, they can go ahead and just kind of clean up Dr. Seuss, I guess, right? I mean, I guess there's some racial books out there, titles out there, or images out there inside Dr. Seuss, and so some of the books are actually being canceled by Dr. Seuss himself. And so Biden actually is just kind of just took the whole Dr. Seuss out the whole Read Across America Day, which has been a tradition in the White House for decades. So he basically just mentioned Dr. Seuss, and that's fine. I don't really have a problem with that, honestly. To me, like I said, I don't want them going after bigger agendas that really impact the society that it's just really just unwarranted. I think they have some really bad ideas. They barely have any ideas. And when they do have ideas, it's usually stuff like this, right? It's just changing Aunt Jemima off the bottle, knocking down Confederate statues, or any statue that's from the past. To me, it's like a disruption thing. You want to change. You just sit around thinking things to destroy or things to mess with. Like Yale wants to just change the whole Constitution, just revamp it, or just take it out and start over from scratch. You just want to just change the climate. You just want to just press buttons. You just want to just nitpick. You just want to change history just to be changing it. I mean, yeah, I know we have issues. I know we have societal ills and very past ills that we need to correct. But I think telling the history and showing the history and keeping the history, preserving the history is important to tell that story and to show the corrections that we made and show how far we progressed. You can't run from your past. You can't run from your history. You need to embrace it. It's what made us. It's who we are. It's who we are today. And just like the Constitution, it's a living document that we can tweak, we can adjust. Our theories on capitalism, our theories on economic recoveries, and how we recover from pandemics and how we learn from our mistakes are all vital to forming this nation, including everybody's input. That's why Emotional Witness exists. I started this show for a reason, to bring a voice to the people, another voice, and you should lend yours too. So hit that like, subscribe button, hit me on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. We go dig into it. But yeah, let the progressives get these little victories, and let's leave everything stable. Let's everything structurally sound, and until we get leadership in here that's going to do things right, that's going to grow together and actually work together, and not deceive one another or deceive the American people. It's on both sides, you guys, and we have to protect those things. We have to protect those things, and that's what we're going to do. So, but we can't protect Dr. Seuss. I think Dr. Seuss has to go ahead and let that. We know those books that are being canceled, if he goes out there and finds them, they're worth thousands of dollars right now on Amazon. So go out there and get you a Dr. Seuss book and put some plastic around it. Give it to your kids. Let's move on a little bit. Why food prices? Why the price of food and gas is creeping higher? It will stay that way for a while. I don't know why. So this article, I came across this article yesterday or so. Recent price spikes in food and gas have caught the attention of consumers as well as analysts, who warn that the pain of higher prices will hit the most vulnerable populations hardest of all. So I mean, I don't understand why. What changed? I mean, this article says that there's tightness in logistical supply chains. I guess log jams in the world supply chain is one culprit. Says. The United Nations Conference on Trade and Development found that global shipping dropped last year, the first decrease since 2009. The short-term outlook for maritime trade is grim, predicting the pandemic's longer-term impact as well as timing and scale of the industry's recovery is fraught with uncertainty. Well, I mean, I'm just like, why now? I mean, all last year during the pandemic, we had low gas prices and food prices were pretty stable. I have noticed the increase, and we all noticed the increase in gas prices recently and food prices. Shit, I think a bottle of Heinz ketchup was like $8. They did some shit. So I mean, it's like I don't know, man. It's really a catch-22, man. I know, you just wonder why these things happen. Why is there all of a sudden a logjam? Why is all of a sudden there's this whoring and this constriction? So they're going to mention pandemic-related production roadblocks are also contributing to the rise of food prices and oil. Agricultural production is dependent on weather. Climate change has contributed to more extreme storms and changing weather patterns. So I just don't understand. There wasn't really too many major storm issues this year. But anyway, I just feel like I saw some of these things are kind of make you scratch your head, you know. But yeah, we'll keep track on that, and with this 1.9 billion economic package that the Democrats are trying to, 1.9 trillion stimulus package. I guess that the stimulus for the COVID pandemic is actually going to really be necessary now for American people. We think about the gas prices and think food prices, and there's already been a need out there, but there's still a trickle to get this bill passed. And like I said, I'm conflicted because, like I said, I mean, when you pass a 1.9 trillion stimulus package and a small percentage of that is related to COVID relief, you worry about the inflation. You worry about the increase in prices and with wages kind of slowly increasing, but not to the effect of in comparison to inflation and prices. It's a struggle for the American family. So we need this stimulus package passed. But then again, you worry about the long-term effects on the economy. You look at China long-term and you wonder how all that affects. But right now, there's a need out there, and we just kind of wonder why there's such a delay when a small percentage of this deal is related to COVID, and the other pieces are pretty much already negotiated or spoken for. So this next article here: Senate Democrats call for automatic stimulus checks and extra unemployment benefits. So you wonder they're playing politics, right? Why not bring this up earlier? Now it's in the Senate. Now you want to push for recurring payments. Shit, Bernie Sanders wants to do $2,000 a month for families, recurring, and in conjunction with unemployment rates and keeping track with economic indicators to kind of get that. No, I mean that kind of makes sense. But the bigger $1 trillion stimulus, the bigger stimulus package, 1.9 trillion, there's a lot in there, a lot of pork in there, a lot of money going to various industries, various aspects of the economy that maybe there's a question mark behind that. Like, how much funding do we give these liberal states that destroyed their own cities this past summer, that were bailing out because of poor decision making, not because of COVID? We use COVID for a lot of excuses, and a lot of these liberals, the top 12 cities in the United States are currently liberal cities that have the highest unemployment, the biggest economic debts, and the issues that are currently going on in this country. The top 12 are Democratic cities, and a lot of it to their own detriment. A lot of it to their own poor leadership, and we got to get into that. You guys heard about Governor Cuomo and all the things he's been going through. This guy was held up as the bastion. He was held up as they actually had this guy almost running for president of the United States in 2020. The Democrats are now going. Now this is a good example again of the media turning against someone when it's time to get someone out of office or someone they don't like. And same for the Democrats. If they don't like someone, they're gonna get them out of there. Governor Cuomo is causing too much political angst. He's causing too much bad PR for the Democrats. He was touted as the gold standard for the pandemic leadership. I never understood that. We all knew that was media spin. The moment it came out, it was. This is one of the most incompetent leaders ever in government, and he was in charge. He's in charge in one of the greatest cities in the world. And the things he's done over the past 2 years has been a head scratcher, in my opinion. His leadership during the pandemic is well documented, and it's nothing to be proud about. Do we not remember how he was crying for ventilators, and then they found ventilators stocked up in some kind of warehouse stored up in New Jersey, not being used? President Trump said to do two boats, two big ass vessels, two big ass arcs. Didn't use them. Sending uh, infected nursing home patients back to the nursing homes and causing all these thousands of deaths. Families irate, families suing, investigations continuing. Now we got him threatening fellow Democratic legislators, congressmen in New York, threatening to destroy them. What kind of leader is that? This guy was about to be they're lining him up to be running for president against Trump. See, the Democratic leaders, man, they're you know, there's something else, man. Like I said, to me, it's something where they, I don't want to get into it like that, but let me stay on Cuomo real quick. So, this article here is Cuomo to be stripped of pandemic emergency powers in legislative deal. So this morning they struck a deal removing Cuomo from power in regard to his emergency powers. Where he pretty much killed thousands. I don't want to accuse the man right now, but there's investigations going on right now, and you look at the sexual harassment allegation that he has going on. You see all these things, and you just kind of wonder, like, how long? I mean, it just shows you how corrupt politics is, because even in this legislative deal, they remove powers from Cuomo, but at the same time, it's like he can't engage in any decision making without the state legislature. Well, that should already be the case, And he's also going around threatening. He sounds so arrogant in his speech. I mean, every time Trump gave a press conference or update on the COVID matter, here comes his speech. The media is covering his press conference just like he's another leader of another country. Like he's on par with the president. And oftentimes they would have his press conference right after the president, like it was more important. And that's what I was talking about earlier in my previous shows about the messaging and about how people play politics with the COVID matter, with this pandemic. And we still look at it, fast forward to today. We have some states opening up. We have some states fighting. Texas, a straight mask mandate. No more masks in Texas. So the urge, the battle to open up, the battle to control the messaging from a global and a local standpoint is very prevalent. But let me stay on Cuomo real quick. Like I said, Cuomo is on the way out, and I love it. And actually, going back to the push, and some of the media is pushing back on the Biden administration. But this next article here is kind of just shows, as this says, is is Cuomo still the gold standard of COVID leadership? And they asked the White House about this because, like I said, the Biden administration was very heavy on Cuomo. Put a lot of money, very big on Cuomo last year. Again, White House Press Secretary Jean Psaki on Sunday failed to answer whether or not President Joe Biden still sees New York Governor Cuomo as a gold standard for COVID leadership. Remember, this was the Biden administration last spring that at the start of the pandemic. Since then, they learned about Cuomo being cooked the books, underreported nursing home deaths in the state by as much as 50%. Cuomo and his team were concerned about the numbers being used against him for political gain. See what that means? Power is more important than the people. Forget those nursing home families. Let's just go ahead and let's hide the numbers. Let's hide the truths. This is when your leadership goes rogue, when your leadership is wrong, when it goes bad, when it's bad for the people. So it's good to see that the state is pushing back, the people are pushing back in New York, and they're stripping this man of power, and soon he should be out. And this is kind of good. I mean, like I said, I think it's partially, of course, I'm sure that is maybe a political ploy, a political play by his rivals, Republicans and whatnot, because this guy could potentially have ran for president. That'd have been an awful thing. It reminds me of when Al Franken was attacked as well with his sexual harassment allegations in his case, and he was just removed from the Senate. These are key chess pieces. And if you kind of watch after a new administration takes power, you'll see these key chess pieces being attacked. And I think Cuomo was a piece that was just too damaging for the Democrats and too threatening to the Republicans. And I think well, between both parties, they didn't want his guy to continue to rise in power. I mean, in a powerful state. He could potentially be someone who can make an impact, on a national level. And I think that's dangerous, and I think that people recognize that, and I think that's why you start seeing these articles really exposing Cuomo for who he is. And I mean, it's obvious who he is. Just a pure, to me, in my opinion, a pure snake. Someone who is an opportunist and is power hungry, deceitful. And can you imagine his brother being a part of that? Chris Cuomo on CNN. Oh God, man, those guys are I mean, they're despicable. How can you even listen to them longer than 5 minutes? If you got any objectivity, any common sense. If you let those people lead your thought, I implore you to get more options to spread your where you get your news from. And hopefully you get it here. Emos to Witness. Hit that like, subscribe button. Emos to Witness the Phil Show. Send for what the fuck I look like. Episode 31. We out here, y'all, grown as a group, as witnesses. Catch me on Facebook. Like me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Like me on YouTube. Subscribe, please. And we'll keep battling these these various issues. Let's continue. Like I said, the media, good. They show, like I said, there's examples. They show you how quickly they can turn on you. They're very powerful. Like if you want some bad press, the media will give it to you in a blink of an eye. So like all I can do is just Google and type Andrew Cuomo, top stories. Jimmy Kimmel skewers Andrew Cuomo over sexual harassment allegations. Biden and Kemp fumed over Cuomo's self-serving DNC speech book claims. Trevor Noah changes to Governor Andrew Cuomo amid sexual harassment, nursing home scandals. So, he's under attack. Democrats are pushing away. There's light support from Nancy Pelosi, but they're keeping it low because it's a PR thing. They want him gone, but you don't want too much bad press on the Democratic Party. So yeah, like I said, we'll keep track. That's like when governors go rogue, when governors attack, when governors are bad. We got to show it. And good to see that Cuomo is under attack. I want to see him gone. And but it's showing you, what the Democratic leadership is kind of looking like right now over the country. And we need to clean it all. We need to clean it all up on both sides. And here, here's another example. Governor Whitmer, per Fox News, Charlie LaDuff to sue Michigan Governor Whitmer over nursing home coronavirus data. Very similar to, Governor Cuomo. She tried to hide the numbers, fudge the numbers from the people, from the press, from the public, to make her, to avoid political ridicule. And so now there's a group in Michigan, including a very prominent reporter who's well praised and well respected, is suing the governor for her handling of the pandemic, and she deserves it, man. She did a lot of odd things during the pandemic and made a lot of executive orders that were just bad on the Michigan people, and it continues to be to this day. So yeah, there's a lawsuit going on here, and this article here is showing you that as well. And like I said, it's showing you that there's a choice America to have, when it comes to this leadership, when it comes to our leaders. And we know that we pick them. But if we dig into who they are, we dig into their character, and then not only that, we hold them accountable, there's optimism to be had in this country, If we continue to question, continue to uphold the Constitution, protect our values, right to free speech, right to bear arms, right to protest, public protest, and the way that happens too. A free and fair media, I think we need. I don't think that's in the Constitution, but we need that. We definitely need to push back. We also need to push back on leaders in various industries that have an impact on society as a whole and how it deals with us. We can't just take everything for face value. So when these governors make these decisions, when these mayors make these decisions locally too, we got to go back and check. We got to go back and at the same time question there as it progresses. So it's good to see these kind of articles, to go back and review. Just like last episode, I reviewed the Durham report and what's going on with that and how that investigation is going to continue. It's a criminal investigation. That's something that people do not understand. That Durham report, that Durham special counsel rather, is just like the Mueller special counsel. It continues in the background. Accountability coming soon, hopefully, and we need that. We're going to see it. It's like a social experiment, right? We're waiting for that end result, and when we get that, we know if we have a two-tier justice system, or we have a fair justice system that holds everybody accountable? How much corruption do we have? How much legacy did Trump leave behind? How much damage did he do? And when we see the fruits of his labor, when we see accountability, when we see people being held to the same standard, and that'll be the measuring stick for where this country is at. Because we had a very questionable 2020 election, and people have a sour taste or a weird taste in their mouth, even Democrats, about our current leadership, because we don't know how valid that election was. So we will get down to all those things, and we will hold people accountable, and we will expose them on this show and more. If Durham doesn't come through, then we expose Durham, right? If Durham comes through, we continue to expose those in the investigation. Wherever the process holds, wherever the process goes, it's necessary. Don't you want to walk into the voting booth in 2022 and 2024 and say, man, I know that my vote matters. I know that it matters. And we got to get to that point. So, most to win this show. I'm going to dig into a little bit of COVID talk. Like I said, we've been kind of getting into it, but I want to dig into more of the COVID matters. We got some data. We got some data being manipulated. We show governors doing that. We see the governor Gavin Newsom as well being under attack for his various policies in COVID and his contradictions, his handling of his hypocrisy, right? So it's just I'm not gonna get into that, but we see governors being held accountable. And but yeah, from a global perspective, when it comes to this COVID matter, there's a politic there where, well, there's just a narrative out there where it's like there's a competing thing going on when it comes to this vaccine. You have Moderna, you have Pfizer, you have Johnson and Johnson. Then you have China with the Sinovac vaccine that distributes that to a lot of the poor countries. And this article kind of digs into that. The Chinese are doing like a vaccine diplomacy. They're going around and they're giving out doses of their vaccine to the total right now. China is said to be supplying vaccine aid to 53 countries and exports to 27. Now, this is pretty big because, like I said, they're not only, in my mind, the creators of this vaccine. Of this virus, the responsible party for this pandemic. They have a vaccine that's just as good as the United States, or actually, it's not as good as the United States. What I'm understanding from what I'm reading here, but it's good enough where they're spreading it across the globe in a diplomatic manner, getting all this credit, all this love, all the support from these other countries. But what's also interesting about this article is that the Pfizer, Moderna, and the Johnson & Johnson vaccine is kind of reserved for like the rich countries, is what they're saying here. And then all the poor countries are kind of getting like this China vaccine. That's kind of weird to me. But actually, it's an economic thing. I guess it's because I don't know if they just kind of. It says it right here. It says. And things that don't matter, I don't know if it really matters. Like many other countries, Chile received far fewer doses of the Pfizer vaccine than first promised. The Chinese company Sinovac acted quickly by sending 4 million doses to Chile. China has targeted the low and middle income countries largely left behind as rich nations scooped up most of the pricier vaccines produced by the likes of Pfizer and Moderna. And despite the few delays of its own, China has largely capitalized on the slower than hoped for deliveries by the U.S. European vaccine makers. So China is giving their vaccine to like the likes of Chile, to Ukraine, to European countries. And they're doing it in a diplomatic manner. They're saying here, for example, they rejected a request by the AP for a list of the countries that they're actually distributing to, but they denied vaccine diplomacy. And the Ministry of Foreign Affairs spokesman said China considered the vaccine a global public good. Chinese experts rejected any connection between the exports of his vaccine and the revamping of his image. But it's working, Not only this, the vaccine could be stored in refrigerators um, that are not as cold as what requires for Pfizer. Pfizer, you need an ultra cold refrigerator to store their vaccine. But China has a lot of tangibles. And I'm saying China's providing vaccine to countries such as Serbia and Hungary, a significant global geopolitical victory in Central Europe and the Balkans, where the West, China, and Russia are competing for political and economic influence. Hungary is the first EU country to use a China vaccine. So yeah, so China, to me, like I said, China to me is winning the trade war. Right now and look like they're winning the vaccine battle. I mean, they're getting their vaccine out there to the world globally. Our vaccine is actually, I guess must be a higher quality. It says that Sinopharm, which is another Chinese company that's distributing vaccines, they're 79% effective based on internal data and clinical trials. But it's also been proven that it's been a decline. Chinese vaccine companies have been slowly and spotty in releasing their trial data compared to companies like Pfizer and Moderna. A global health expert at the U.S. think tank Council of Foreign Relations said none of China's 3 vaccine candidates used globally have publicly released their late-stage clinical trial data. CanSino, another Chinese company with a one-shot vaccine, says it is 65% effective, declined to be interviewed. So they're very private. They're very secretive with their information. You get this data out there from China, but it's very secretive. It's not open. It's not transparent, and that's the characteristic of the country as a whole. And those are the dangers that I see with this country, and where they're headed. I look at their global expansion. I look at their deals in Africa. I look at their maneuvers. I look at their large army. I look at their moves in the South China Sea. I look at the stealing of intellectual property. I look at all this stuff. And I kind of measure the good and the bad. Like, how good is China for the world? What are the good things they're doing? Is it a sham? And what are the bad things they're doing? From a human rights standpoint, and from a global expansion standpoint, how responsible are they being? The war games they're playing, and we're playing those same games too. The whole world's playing those same games. But my thing is, why, when it comes to a pandemic, why can't we just come together and unify and come collectively and produce vaccines and spread them out across the world? Work together. And you see, we never did that. We don't do that now. Look how long it took for China to release data for the virus when it first came out early last 2020. We are constantly competing each other to a point, and I showed you the video, and it's about the South China Sea, where we're about to go to a real war with this country. It's getting to that point. I really feel that way. The calm before the storm. Are we ready as a country? I think about things like PPE, right? Now we have a surplus. Hey, maybe it's getting us ready for something else. And like I see, when I see these politics with this COVID, you wonder how serious it is. And, some cities in the United States are fed up. Some cities are opening up, despite all the fear. But yeah, there's something to keep track of. I mean, like I said, this is another example of when I see a competition instead of a unity, unification when it comes to these big pandemics. I mean, it makes the most sense. But we're not doing that as a country. We're not doing it as a globally as other countries collectively. So it's something more to be had. Something more there, in my opinion. And right now, to me, it's about having that, for China's mindset, that global image, that restoration, and it's working. They want to be the global leader. They want to take over the world. And we're trying to stop them, or we're trying to, I guess, either refinance or restructure ourselves to get ready for that or battle that. And I feel like the Trump administration was battling, handling that, attacking that, and doing a decent job. And now the current administration is kind of like, do we give in to them? Do we give in to Iran? Are we already bought and sold by administrations back in power? Do Republicans stop that? Do we have stagnation for 4 years until Trump comes back? Better than ever? A lot of things going on, man. To me, like I told you, it's like Star Wars to me. It's like you got Senator Palpatine, you got Darth Vader. You got all these cast of characters, man, that filling these roles. Who are they? Who's behind the mask? Politics is dirty game, and it's very interesting. If you understand the characters and the cast and characters, you can watch a great movie. And I'm here to bring it to you. I'm here to paint that perfect picture if I can. So hit that like, subscribe button. Emos to Witness, episode 31, downtown at 120 East Market Street, Wave 1 Media. Come down here and get you a show. Hit that like, subscribe button. Catch me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Website coming soon. And as we're going as witnesses, I'm your guide. I'm your ref. We're going to try to find the angles. We're going to try to find the truth together as we grow as a show. You know, we'll bring you a lot of new things, a lot of new aspects. Like I told you, I'm looking forward to live interviews. I'm looking forward to a dynamic website. I'm looking forward to your input, to join the chat, to join the conversation. You know. So yeah, let's keep going. Like I said, so despite how I feel about how the messaging of this pandemic is going, I seem there's, like I said, there appears to be optimism as we get into the warmer climate and as we walk into the spring season. Like I said, Johnson & Johnson has a single vaccine. They're calling it a game changer, and I just wanted to highlight this. It's kind of great to see that. Like I said, I'm still worried about these vaccines, and it's on you to kind of decide if you want to get it or not. But like I said, just do your research and keep focusing on your health as a whole. And right here we see that Johnson & Johnson's come with a one-shot game changer. And like I said, Moderna and Pfizer has shown to be successful so far. So if and Biden is coming out saying that every American will have the opportunity to get a vaccine by May. So just kind of keep that in mind, and as you decide to you understand your kid, in some states kids have not been in school for a whole year, and how many kids have you heard been sick so far in the past year from anything? Flu, whatever, sniffles. I ain't blow my daughter's nose in months. I haven't said, Dad, maybe your nose is running. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like I said, there's a lot to learn from this pandemic. I mean, maybe we should every 4 days, everybody wear a mask outside. You know what I'm saying? Or let's do 6 feet apart Saturday. You know what I'm saying? It's like some natural holiday type shit where we all just stay inside. Maybe it has an impact. I mean, knock on wood. I ain't bought no children's Tylenol yet in a while. So, but she's been in school too. She's been in school all year. I ain't gonna lie. She's been doing her thing. She's a soldier, man. She's throwing that private school outfit and hop up in the car and go. Rain, sleet, weather, no matter. She's a soldier. But yeah, there's a lot to learn. Like I said, let's open up and let's stay on the vigilant side. Definitely when it comes to making sure that we don't make the pandemic worse than the actual cure worse than the cause itself. So again, like I said, here's another article, and this, like I said, this is related, but also goes back into the deception and the misdirection that both government leaders and administration would give you. And like I said, I showed you an aspect of media manipulation if they want to turn on you. So here's another article from Fox News. I don't know who this lady's name is, if I'm saying it right, Psaki. Pressed on whether the Biden administration is taking credit for Trump accomplishments on the vaccine partnership. And this attacks the fact that the Biden administration announced that they're going to invoke the Defense Production Act to help out Johnson & Johnson and Merck in regards to their creation of their coronavirus vaccine and distribution of so. Again, like I said, each administration, when they come into power, they always want to diminish the other administration's accomplishments. And again, this is good to see that the media is pushing back and questioning. And again, that's what we should aim to do on this show: is to point out the hypocrisy and point out where the deception lies. Like I said, you gotta make sure that these politicians are on your side, and we gotta get them to be more truthful, more open, and more genuine. You got to mislead us. Just like last episode, I showed you how Biden and Vice President Harris came out and said that the cupboards were bare. There was nothing there was no vaccine when they got into the White House. They're starting from scratch, is what they said. And I just think that's just disingenuous. Like I said, this pandemic is more important, if it is to be portrayed this way, to be more important. Then we need to be responsible and more mature in how we speak about it. All professionals, medical and all, media, all, and the administration most importantly. So a reporter called out Psaki yesterday's press conference. I thought it was kind of great to kind of point out. Let me see. Let me see. Now, here goes the reporter that question. She says, we wrote our first story at the New York Times about a possible partnership between Merck and Johnson & Johnson for manufacturing on January 21st. My understanding is that the talks between those companies have been in the works. Could you help explain how is it that the Biden administration deserves credit for bringing these two together when it looks like the discussions have been underway before you guys even got here? So Pazaki, she responded and said, we're talking about when the partnership was finalized so that we can move it forward. See, that's just bullshit. That's a bullshit line. Like I said, if I'm in my kitchen, I'm chopping up peppers and I'm saying, what the fuck I look like? Let me turn on emos. Cause I know he's thinking the same thing. Like I mean, yeah, should I just go ahead and keep on feeding my family and go to bed? And say that's good old Biden administration doing their thing for COVID. I can't let my people go to the voting booths thinking the wrong things about leadership. We want genuineness, and that's something small, but they're willing to do something on a small level like that. They want to do something on a bigger level. Ukraine, China, Libya. I don't know what the fuck I was trying to. I was sneezing or something, but I mean, there's just so many debacles currently going on and on the way, on the horizon. We just, we got to hold this administration accountable, man. We can't let them run rogue. I see a lot of things coming up that we need to be mindful of and watchful of. When they do little things like this to kind of preserve power and while making the other leadership look bad, it's just so commonplace in politics. It needs to stop. But yeah, she came out and said something generic like we were talking about when the partnership was finalized so that we can move it forward. Of course, as she continues, there are conversations between companies, but in terms of getting it to the point, and obviously the Johnson & Johnson vaccine was only approved last weekend, right? And she's being a little smart. But there's a difference between conversations and then moving forward and the use of the Defense Production Act, which is something that this president and not the prior president committed to invoking. Also, the commitment to help get it manufactured facilities to the place where it needed to be in order to produce the vaccines. So I'm only conveying what I got across the finish line. And it's clear and I think it's clear that has only happened relatively recently. Now, early in the briefing, I'm not gonna read it for verbatim, but now, as I mentioned, the Biden administration stated that they will have this vaccine available to all the Americans by May. So that's a benchmark that we can hold them accountable for. We can appreciate them and how well they rolled out to pharmacies. If there's no log jams in the distribution, like there are currently log jams in I guess the supply chain. Why now? It wasn't 2020. Now, like I told you earlier in the show, we have high food prices and we have high gas prices. What changed? Policies have changed. Maybe leadership. Maybe who's managing these things now? Why now? So why take credit for things that you have not done that was already in the works? We need to hold you guys accountable for how you finished the job. Okay, despite the messaging, I think that the Operation Warp Speed has been a success. You can't get these vaccines within a year without deregulation, without the proper leadership. We got 3 vaccines now going on. They're quality, right? Supposedly, so far. We had a massive rollout. We shut down the airports early January. We did all these great things. The messaging was bad though. We had a lot of press conferences, but we just had a lot of mixed messaging from everybody. Everybody should be held accountable for that. But Biden administration should be held accountable for the rollout into the pharmacies, how it gets to the American people. Will you meet that May deadline? And how solid you keep this current? Because you're doing the Trump administration's plan. Is how well you manage it is how you'll be measured. But going back and trying to claim accomplishments that you did not do is disingenuous to the previous administration and it's a mislead to the American people. And that's what we do not want in our society any longer. We want better leadership. And we're going to hold them accountable. Let's keep it going. So yeah, just continuing. Like I said, Texas governor lifts mask mandate, allowing businesses to open at 100% capacity despite health official warnings. That's wonderful, man. I told you, I feel like we should open up. I think we should be vigilant, and I think the mask should be not mandatory but optional for your choice. But I think you should also protect your fellow person. I mean your fellow neighbor. And I think you should follow store policies, of course, wear the mask if the store requires it. If the county that you're living in makes a mask mandate, then I think that's something that should be followed because that's the people's voice. But the state is like saying, hey, hands off, you know, and that's what's going on in Texas. Texas has always been a what kind of like not rogue, but kind of like more like a pillar of patriotism, in my opinion. Not much of Texas. So yeah, this article here says Texas governor from CNN. Texas governor lifts mask mandate and allows businesses to open at 100% capacity despite health official warnings. Let me pull that article up real quick. Let's see here. This is Governor Greg Abbott. And you know, this is on this Tuesday that he has lifted the mask mandate. I'll give you a quick quote here. Too many Texans have been sidelined from unemployment opportunities. Too many small businesses owners have struggled to pay their bills. This must end. It is now time to open, and it's a good thing because he's. I mean, to me, this is pretty sound leadership because he's going off the data. You know, he's going off the data. If we go down to Texas, as of Monday, 6.57% of Texans have been fully vaccinated, according to Johns Hopkins. Abbott said that 5.7 million vaccine shots have been administered in the state. There's a surplus of PPE, and 10 million Texans have recovered from COVID. Now, of course, he goes on to say that removing state mandates does not end the personal responsibility in caring for family members, friends, and others in your community. People and businesses do not need the state, though, to tell them how to operate. So there's some pushback, but this for the most part is pretty good. He's going off the numbers, decline in deaths and decline in positive results so far, and we'll see how it goes. But like I said, we need to kind of open up, we need to kind of push forward. Again, he is one of several states that currently, I think there's 12 states total for this map, this next map here on the screen. Malik, you just kind of showing what current states do not have a mask requirement. Idaho, South Dakota, Nebraska, Missouri, Tennessee, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Mississippi, Arizona, Texas, and Alaska. So I hope we'll see more of that color, that maroon color, increase as we go by. So yeah, so we're opening up. Things are kind of being positive on those sides. See some China diplomacy. We see some vaccines being spread out. My whole thing. Let's just get this thing going. Let's get things spread out. Let's get these vaccines rolled out. If they have been approved and they're all ready to go and they're all healthy and good to go and safe, hey, get it out there. Let's get that herd immunity going. Let's get the economy going. Let's get everything going, and let's see if we can start building again and restoring our country. You know, and hopefully changing our leadership too. So to make it more quality, to make it better rather. So yeah, before I end the show, I kind of want to, like I said, I wanted to kind of also just this last article about just kind of like I said, I'm really big on foreign policy. I'm really big on kind of stop endless wars, and that's kind of the whole thing why I am a Trump supporter because that was part of his policy, amongst other things that kind of piqued my interest, and I was just kind of tired of the current leadership and tired of the nonsense and the double talk. But again, like I said, foreign policy is kind of still turning its head and kind of to see little sparks and since the last 3 months. And right as of this morning, rockets fired at Iraqi base hosting U.S.-led coalition troops. It hasn't happened in a while, right? We haven't seen too much. Like I said, Donald Trump, that peace through strength was working. First president to set foot on North Korea. You have the Abraham Accords going on in the Middle East. We have countries kind of accepting Israel as a nation. Just bringing peace to that area of the country. Pulling troops from Syria, but keeping a group there to protect our oil interests. I got no problem with that. Like I said, this is a chess match out here in this world until we all can unify, in my opinion. You look at the heavy equipment that he sent to Ukraine to battle Russia forces to keep that area stabilized, keep that threat at bay. The trade wars with China, the peace through strength, the reciprocal trade, all that stuff has military and political leanings too. I mean, military and peace leanings as well. Trade deals equal peace as well. But then, like I say, we see a change. You can see the Biden administration come in and they want to review everything over again. Why, how much respect do we have over the world again at this point now? When you can start firing rockets back again, you know? Biden sent more troops to Syria than usual last month, you know? Telling Iran to watch it, even though I don't know if that's really shit. We get them piles of money. I think we're about to join the JCPOA again. So, like I said, we got to watch the foreign policy front. We never know. It could be a calm before the storm. We got the South China Sea brewing up. Is the Biden administration ready for that? Military buildup, and we're being pushed and prodded now. And that's how it was during the Obama administration. Do you remember when Obama went to China? His ass got a red carpet at the back of the plane. There was no military ceremony or parade for him when he arrived in China. Go back and look at that article. Go back and look at that visit. They didn't respect the Obama administration, the globe globally, most despots, most countries, most big countries, and I don't think they appreciate the Biden administration now. It's just part two. When Trump was in power, what happened? Trump went to Saudi Arabia and put his hand on the motherfucking globe like some big ass white ball with like 4 Saudi Arabian like leaders. It was like on some damn futuristic shit. You don't remember he touched like it was like a shiny like white ball. It was like I don't know who was in it. I don't know if it was like Yoda in that motherfucker or something. But it was some old ceremonial shit that was out the ass. And I was like, damn, this is crazy. He went to China, had a full-fledged parade. I think he went to like India. Motherfuckers had like 1 million people in the stadium. They don't cover that shit. And his influence on the Republican Party still continues to this day, like I've been talking about. And he's coming back in 2022, 2024. We'll see what trans holds, what trans fix from that. We'll see the changes in leadership to the midterm elections on both parties and how that fleshes out. But that man is steady. He's not going anywhere. And you see that by the attacks and the continued investigation. That's what we see right now. Because they want that man's power diminished. They want that party diminished. And it's being very difficult to do without the Democrats exposing themselves as well. And we're seeing them just killing themselves with Cuomo, Whitmer, and various investigations on the horizon. And they're trying to clean up their own house. But it's hard to do that when you're not genuine. You expose too much, the American people are already looking at you sideways. So there's a lot of optimism to look at overall, and we're coming to the spring season. But we got to watch out for, we got to stay vigilant on the economic indicators, the high prices of food and gas and things like that, and find out the causes. And let's hold people accountable, you guys. So I want you guys to have a great Wednesday. Thank you for joining me. I want you to hit that like, subscribe button. Like me, I'm downtown at 120 East Market Street. Again, I'm Emos the Witness. This is the Phil Show, episode 31. Feel for what the fuck I look like. And it's time to expose these people, battle back, be your strong voice for the people. I want you guys to have a great day. I'll see you on Friday. Same time, same channel, and I'm out.